By the end of this video, you'll know exactly why losing $100 feels twice as devastating as gaining $100. And by the way, there's a third reason most people never consider, one that completely changes how you should make every financial decision from now on. So stick around. This one's worth it. All right, let's start with a story. Picture this. You open your email one morning. Your portfolio is up $500. You feel pretty good, right? Maybe you grab an extra coffee. Treat yourself a little. Now imagine the opposite. Same portfolio, down $500. That one stings. You feel sick. You check it again and again. You lost the same $500, but the pain hits harder than the pleasure ever could. That right there is loss aversion, and it's one of the most powerful forces in human psychology. The concept comes from a groundbreaking paper published in 1979. Daniel Kahneman and Amos Tversky wrote Prospect Theory, an analysis of decision under risk. It appeared in the journal Econometrica, and it changed everything we thought we knew about how humans make choices. Here's what they found. Losses are weighted about twice as heavily as equivalent gains. Psychologically speaking, losing $100 feels roughly like losing $200 feels good. This isn't a metaphor. It's measurable. It's consistent, and it operates below conscious awareness. Now, here's why that matters so much. The first reason is how your brain physically responds to loss. In 2001, neuroscientist Antoine Beccara studied this using brain imaging. He found that the amygdala, that's your brain's fear and loss processing center, fires more intensely when you face a potential loss than when you face an equivalent gain. Your brain quite literally treats losing money as a threat. But here's the thing. Most people think they can just reason their way past it. They can't. Becara's research showed that this response happens automatically. It's preconscious. You're already feeling the loss before your rational brain even kicks in. So, knowing about loss aversion doesn't protect you from it. It just means you know what's happening while it happens. That's point one. Your brain is wired to feel losses more intensely than gains. This isn't a character flaw, it's architecture. Now, let's get into how this plays out in the real world. Point two is where it gets practical. Richard Thaler ran a famous experiment in 1980. He gave Cornell University students Cornell basketball tickets. The tickets had a market value of about $200. Half the students had paid face value for their tickets. The other half hadn't. They were randomly assigned. Then Thaler asked both groups, what is the minimum you'd accept to sell your ticket? The students who paid for their tickets said they'd need around $170 to sell. The students who got them for free said they'd sell for about $70. Same ticket, same market value. But the people who'd paid for them demanded more than double. This is the endowment effect. Once you own something, giving it up feels like a loss, and losses hurt more, so you demand more to let go. Think about what this means in your daily life. You won't sell your grandmother's ring for twice its appraised value. You hold on to losing stocks way too long because selling makes the loss real. You're anchoring to what you paid, even though that number is completely irrelevant to what the thing is actually worth now. This is why sunk costs ruin so many decisions. You spend $8,000 on a timeshare. You hate it. You never use it. But you can't bring yourself to get rid of it because selling feels like admitting you made a mistake. So you keep paying the maintenance fees. Year after year. That's loss aversion talking, and it's costing you real money. Thaler himself called this mental accounting. We treat money differently depending on where it came from or what it's attached to. A $100 bonus feels different from $100 you were counting on for rent. And a loss feels different depending on whether we've already accepted it or not. If you're finding this useful, hit subscribe. I drop videos like this every week. And the third point I'm about to give you is the one people tell me changes the way they think about money forever. All right, point three. This is the one I've been saving. Here's the real secret about loss aversion. It doesn't just make you avoid losses. It makes you avoid gains too. Think about it. You've probably done this. You have a stock that's up 40%. You know you should take the profit. But selling feels like losing the potential for more. So you wait. And then the market turns. And you're right back to where you started. Or worse. The same mechanism that protects you from losing too much money also prevents you from taking money that's already yours. Daniel Kahneman won the Nobel Prize in Economics in 2002 largely for this work. In his acceptance speech, he said something most people missed. He said the real danger of loss aversion isn't that people are too afraid to take risks. It's that they're too afraid to end the session a winner. They'd rather keep gambling than bank the gain. This is why so many people work their whole lives and never feel wealthy. They're not losing money. They're just never cashing in. They're waiting for one more gain, one more opportunity. And all the while, the psychological pain of walking away from potential keeps them from enjoying what they've already built. The fix is surprisingly simple. You reframe the question. Instead of asking, what can I still get from this? Ask, what am I keeping if I stop? That subtle shift moves the math from potential gains back to realized ones. Here's a real example. My friend Marcus had a rental property. It had appreciated significantly. He kept it for 6 years past when he needed it. Why? Because selling meant giving up the future appreciation. He never actually quantified what that was worth. When he finally ran the numbers, he realized he was subconsciously treating an imaginary future return as a guaranteed loss. He sold the property, paid off his mortgage, slept better for the first time in years. Loss aversion doesn't just make you scared of losing what you have. It makes you sacrifice what you have for what you might get. And that's the version most people never see coming. So here's the takeaway. Your brain is hardwired to feel losses twice as intensely as gains. You can't logic your way past it, but you can design systems that account for it. When you make a decision, write down the value of the loss before you write the value of the gain. Double it. That's the real cost you're weighing. And when you're thinking about cashing out, reframe it, not as giving up opportunity, but as keeping everything you've already won. That one mental shift could change your entire financial future. If this video helped you see things differently, share it with someone who's been holding on to something they should have sold years ago, and subscribe. I've got something even better coming next week. You won't want to miss it.